Hello there, a very good evening to you. You're live here on GHOne TV. It's now time for News Tonight with me, Natalie. For a look at our top stories. Coming up this evening, minority accuses Supreme Court of not considering the substance of the case brought before it by the majority leader in declaring the position of the Speaker of Parliament as unconstitutional.
The Supreme Court has never averted its mind, unfortunately, to the substance of the matter. If they have decided, if they have looked at it critically, and the Supreme Court is the conscience of the country. The Supreme Court is the conscience of the nation.
Also ahead, confusion deepens in Eke Donko's Ghana Freedom Party as factions fight over decision by Electoral Commission to disqualify Philip Apiakubi as flag bearer of the party.
Talk to our lawyers so that they will see if they find anything wrong or whatever they find it. I think they will advise us what to do.
So what we should do, we want to honor our leader and the founder of our late Madam Eke Donko. That's why we mean we don't need anybody to contest for 2024 election.
Also on the bulletin this evening, we shall tell you the story of a 2-year-old girl who is battling for survival against leukemia and needs to raise $150,000 for a bone marrow transplant.
Looking at this babbling child, losing this child to cancer, as a mother, I don't think it's the best way.
And ahead in business, Youth Employment Agency signs agreement with Fisheries Commission to train 1,000 young persons in aquaculture. We get started this evening with insights, and with just 25 days to the 2024 general elections, we are your election hub. Remember, you can watch this bulletin wherever you are in the world on Facebook and X at GHOne TV. Let's get started tonight as the Supreme Court has, by a 5-2 majority judgment, overturned the decision of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Backbin, to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant. The Speaker's initial decision on October 17 stirred strong opposition from the majority caucus, prompting a legal interpretation of Article 97, Section 1, subsection G of the 1992 Constitution from the Supreme Court. Delivering a ruling on Tuesday, November 12, 2024, the court said the Speaker's decision is unconstitutional. Legal Affairs correspondent Murtala Inusa has more.
Of 5-2, Lovelace Johnson JSC and Amadou Tanko JSC dissenting on the issue of jurisdiction, the plaintiff's action succeeds. The full reasons and orders of the court shall be filed with the registrar by close of day tomorrow, 13th November 2024. This is the judgment of the court.
It is now settled the fates of the 4 parliamentarians whose seats were declared vacant have their seats back. 7-member panel of the Supreme Court, presided over by the Chief Justice Gertrude Saki Tokuno, has by a 5-2 majority declared that the Speaker of Parliament decision on the 17th of October declaring some 4 seats in Parliament is unconstitutional. However, Justice Amadou Tanko and Justice Lovelace Johnson dissented on the issue of jurisdiction. But who are those on the majority side? The Chief Justice herself, Gertrude Saki Tokonu, Justice Mariama Owusu, Justice Samuel Esiedu, Justice Ernest Gawu, and Justice Yao Dakun Asare. They form the majority that decided on this case. But the Attorney General has a response for those who are saying that the court has been predictable in relation to matters of this nature.
This hypocrisy and double standards must cease. The Supreme Court is the final arbiter on all matters in the country, including an interpretation of the Constitution. Indeed, it's the only court solely seeks legislation to pronounce on the meaning of relevant provisions of the Constitution. And the Constitution means what the Supreme Court says it means, and nothing more.
Alexander Afenyomarkin, the majority leader and the plaintiff in the matter, also says that the Speaker to humble himself and conduct activities of the House using the law.
Expect our colleagues on the other side, including Mr. Speaker, to respect the outcome of this case so that we move on as a nation. All we have is the peace of the country. All we have is our democracy. And in West Africa and in Africa as a whole, Ghana shines in the eyes of the people in terms of democracy.
But what has been the reaction of lawyer for Alexander Afenyomarkin, Joe Gatti?
The 4 MPs have been reinstated. They must come to Parliament. And as far as I'm concerned, if the status quo ante is brought back, then there's no dispute that people call him caucus leader, whatever, it should stop from today.
It is now concluded the Speaker of Parliament will have no other choice than to recall Parliament, because the Supreme Court has decided, and the decision is that those seats declared vacant by the Speaker is unconstitutional, and the Parliament should still remain as it were. From the Supreme Court, Mutala Inusa, GHOne.
Well, meanwhile, the majority in Parliament has appealed to its counterparts in the minority to take the judgment of the Supreme Court in the vacant seat saga in good faith. The MPP MPs have consequently urged the minority to join in the celebration of the verdict in the interest of democracy. Speaking to the media in Parliament, Majority Chief Whip Frank Anor-Dompre argued that the decision by 2 justices to dissent means the apex court of the land is truly independent. The Nsawam Aduedri MP further urged the Speaker and the minority to respect the verdict from the Supreme Court.
We expect our colleagues to do. I don't expect anything different from their complying to the judgment. Of course, when a case involving the minority leader and the court ruled, not necessarily the Supreme Court, but was a court ruling, they were celebrating it. I expect them to celebrate with us. They must be seen to be celebrating this victory, which gives a definition to true parliamentary jurisprudence. That we expect them to do. I hope you are listening. Yeah, so our colleagues, we expect them to celebrate with us, and also to celebrate not with us, with the Ghanaian people, that this is democracy. And for the Speaker, with his caliber in wake, I don't expect anything different. So those who say that, what about if he doesn't respect the judgment? I don't think it's an option at all. It cannot be an option for the Speaker to say that I will not respect the judgment of the apex court.
Well, Cletus Avoka is the NDC Member of Parliament for Zebila, and he has been reacting to the ruling by the Supreme Court.
Other than the ticket that you came to Parliament, you have crossed carpet. Forget about crossing carpet or what do you call it, being this and that. They are all semantics. The most important is that you have left one party for another party. Whether that constitutes crossing carpet or that you have just signified your intention to change the rest of them, the value is the same.
So, you think that the Supreme Court didn't look at the substance of the matter?
The Supreme Court has never adverted its mind, unfortunately, to the substance of the matter. If they have decided, if they have looked at it critically, and the Supreme Court is the conscience of the country. The Supreme Court is the conscience of the nation. In other words, the Supreme Court should not bog themselves with barren legal technicalities. They should rather look at the substance. They should look at the mischief. They should look at the substance. They should look at what the framework of the Constitution wanted to avoid or wanted to cure.
Well, let's stay on this a while longer. Political science lecturer at the UPSA, Ni Amate, joins us over the telephone now for more on this development. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, first of all, what's your assessment of this judgment being made by the Supreme Court, and does the Speaker have any room whatsoever to go against it? And if so, what are the implications of that?
Hello.
Yes. Hello, good evening. I hope you can hear.
Yeah, this is Syria.
Yes, so I'm asking what your assessment is of the judgment made by the Supreme Court, and if there's any room for the Speaker to go against it, and if so, what the implications will be. Working the phone lines to reach political science lecturer at the UPSA, Ni Amate there. But what this essentially means is that the Supreme Court has, by this 5-2 decision, ruled that the Speaker, that Alban Sumana Bagman's declaration of these 4 seats as vacant, is unconstitutional. So, with regards to that, he has to then have the House recalled and continue the business of the House. Now, there are some varied reactions to this. As you heard earlier, we've got the majority calling on the minority to celebrate along with them, saying that this, in the spirit of democracy, goes to advance Ghana's democracy as a whole and parliamentary affairs. Let's return to Ni Amate, that's political science lecturer at the UPSA. Good evening to you, sir. I believe you're hearing clearly now. I was asking what you make of this judgment by the Supreme Court, and if there's any room for the Speaker to go against it, and if he does, what the implications of this are.
Well, I thank you for having me this evening. What I think the Supreme Court did this evening was something I'd been expecting all this while, because each of the 3 arms of government has its own role to play in this democracy of ours. And the judiciary is the arm of government that has the power to do interpretations, at least from the layman's point of view. So I know they're going to give us the interpretation, and people should stop. I heard Chikata, I heard Ayariga, saying that they are certain matters where the Supreme Court must keep itself away from those matters. I don't think that is right. I don't think we have 2 constitutions in Ghana. We have the same law applying to everybody. So what the verdict says is that the Speaker erred. And I think the Speaker must eat humble pie and then respect the verdict. I mean, in the absence of that, I think the Constitution has its own ways of dealing with people who go against the rulings of the judiciary.
Right. Yeah. Now, with that being said, we've got just a few days left for the 2024 general elections. How do you think that this impacts the balance of power and harmony between the legislative and judicial branches of Ghana?
Well, I think we have no other thing to do apart from we all coming together to make sure that we get to the day of the election and then we all vote wisely. What I'm driving at is the fact that we have no other choice. The idea is that we cannot fail. And I've also heard people talking about the fact that the government will suffer. The government will suffer, and that the government promises will not be met, and Parliament is not sitting, and therefore the government will suffer. It is not the government that suffers. It is me and you. All right. Yes.
But so just very briefly, do you, with having made that point, do you see the Speaker sort of intentionally hampering the business, government business in the House as a result of this ruling?
Well, I'm not saying Speaker Bagman is intentionally doing that. he's also, if you watch carefully, he's also been very, very cautious, and he's walking a tightrope. But what I'm saying is that the parliament was running smoothly until he did that declaration. And once it's been proven in the court that he erred, I think he should eat humble pie and then respect the judgment of the court. I don't think we need to drag this. Speaker Bagbin, as I know, loves Ghana, loves democracy, and is going to respect it. Yeah.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Ni Amate there. He's a political science lecturer at the UPSA, joining us on that development following the ruling made by the Supreme Court overturning the decision of the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bagbin. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. And other top stories this evening. It appears the confusion that greeted the Ghana Freedom Party following the decision of Philip Appiah-Kubi to file nominations to replace the late founder of the party, Donko, is far from over. The confusion escalated on Tuesday when the Electoral Commission disqualified Philip Appiah-Kubi from contesting the December polls due to irregularities on his nomination forms, while the General Secretary, George Affle, says the party is considering legal action against the EC. The national organizer told the media that the party will soon announce their support for another political party ahead of the December polls.
Now that the presidential candidate or the nominee has been disqualified, the Commission would like to inform you that the printing would proceed on the current ballot as is, in the interest of time and to save this country millions of cedis.
This announcement by the chairperson of the elections management body has further deepened the confusion in the party founded by Donko, who died a couple of weeks ago. The faction, led by executives such as the chairperson, vice chairperson, organizer and a host of others, see the disqualification as welcome news. The national organizer of the GFP tells the media that leadership will soon meet to decide which party to support in the December polls.
We want to honor our leader and the founder of our late Madam Donko. That's why we don't need anybody to contest for 2024 election. So we thank the commission have done very well for my decision. We need to honor our late mother, the leader and the founder of Donko. So the decision from the commissioner is the best.
So who is leading your party?
Now we will just arrange and do the Congress after the burial and the final funeral rites when you get to the grave. So the 2027 is our decision now.
This, however, is in sharp contrast to what the General Secretary, who spoke exclusively to GHOne News, said. He says the party is considering legal action against the Electoral Commission.
The EC wrote us a letter yesterday night. We got it yesterday night, and we were told that our candidate has been disqualified. Yeah. I respect the EC, and then we'll go back to our lawyers so that they will see if they find anything wrong or whatever they find it. I think they will advise us what to do. So we'll take it to our lawyers, and then they will look through the documents.
He claimed the party does not have a position known as national organizer, and that the media should disregard what Richard Botwe said about supporting a party in the December polls.
I'm the General Secretary of the party, so what I said is final. We don't have a national organizer, and the party has not divided. The party is strong, and the party will continue to be strong. As a General Secretary, we don't have a position like national organizer. That seat is vacant. So if anyone carry himself that I'm the national organizer, it's not true. It's not true. We don't have such a position.
Despite giving the GFP a 10-day window to rectify these issues, the EC chairperson, Jean Mensah, explained that some of the irregularities remained unacceptable, ultimately leading to Kubi's disqualification from the presidential race.
The commission, therefore, as at yesterday, wrote to the party and to the candidate disqualifying him from contesting the 2024 presidential election.
For now, it remains unknown if the party will go ahead to fight the flag bearer's disqualification in the courts or not. For GHOne News, Obed Kingaglo.
Well, let's stay on this issue. Seth Terrier serves as vice chairman of the Ghana Freedom Party. Joins us now over the phone lines for more on this. Good evening to you. Thank you for joining us here on News Tonight. Now, yes, we've got your general secretary mentioning that there's no role as a national organizer within your party. However, it has been said by the national organizer that this disqualification of your candidate is welcome news in terms of honoring the late Akuadonkor. Do you share this sentiment?
I don't share the sentiment with the general secretary. I share the sentiment with the national organizer that the party has taken a decision that the party is not going to participate in the upcoming general election. There was a meeting that was held, I think somewhere last week, that these two gentlemen were involved in that meeting. They all agreed that the party is not going to participate in the upcoming general election with the family members of the late Madam Akuadonkor. After both of them have agreed that the party is not going to participate in the upcoming general election, then the general secretary, the president of Jajafo, went back and together with the Nubuma father, they went and filed that nomination. So the party has taken a stance that they are not taking part in the upcoming general election. The focus now is on how to give a befitting burial to the late Madam Akuadonkor. That's all that the party is focusing on now.
Right. So with that being said, does your party recognize the position of a national organizer? Because we just had the general secretary say otherwise.
Well, if I don't know, maybe I don't know.
Do you have a national organizer that you recognize as a party as your national organizer?
Yes, that is Richard Bucci.
But your general secretary says otherwise.
Well, yeah, but time will tell. If he's saying otherwise, time will tell.
Is there division in your party as it stands? I mean, it's evident that there is some form of misunderstanding in terms of recognizing the rules within the party. Is that the case?
For now, because of the stand that the party is not taking part in the upcoming general election, and he is siding with Nubuma father. That is how it seems that there's a division, there's a problem with the party. But that issue, we overcome it. After we've given burial to the late Akuadonkor, we will move ahead. The party will go on. There will be a congress. We will elect a new executive, and the one who will lead the party as the party flag bearer. So you wait and see. You will see the one who will take over. If he is there, if he is there saying that the national organizing or position is vacant, that will tell you, all of you will attest to the fact.
So with that being said, this who you recognize to be your national organizer has said that there's going to be declaration of support for another political party within the race, the 2024 general elections. Are you going to officially have that declaration made? And why really are you as a party going ahead to support another party ahead of the elections?
That has not been taken yet.
But this was said by your national organizer.
You say he said that the party is going to side with another party?
He is going to offer support for another political party ahead of the elections. You're not aware of this?
Please, I didn't hear what you just said.
I'm saying you're not aware of these comments made by your national organizer of offering support to another political party ahead of the elections?
No, we have not taken that stand yet. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But for now, we've not taken that stand yet.
Right. Now, finally, there are some allegations that you've been somewhat compromised by the governing MPP. Is there any validity to these claims?
Who is bringing that allegation? If it is Jajafo, then they should also think about themselves. That question should be thrown against them. They should answer it themselves. That who is influencing them? That the family have come and there was a meeting that the party is not going to participate in the upcoming general election, and they went back behind closed doors and go and fight the nomination. They should rather think about it because the family has come out. And there was a meeting held that the party is not going to participate in the upcoming general election. The focus now is on how to bury, give a befitting burial to the late GHOne. So if they should go behind that meeting, then they should supposed to answer the question. The question they are throwing against us. They supposed to answer the question because they agreed. The general secretary was part of that meeting. So why should he go behind?
Seth Terrier, we have to draw the curtains here. Thank you so much for your time. Vice Chairman of the Ghana Freedom Party joining us there. You're watching News Tonight here on GHOne TV. Let's take some other news ahead of the 2024 general elections, and we've got the flag bearer of the NDC, National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama. Now, in a bid to revitalize the creative arts industry, the former president, John Mahama, has promised that the NDC government will construct a modern theatre in the Ashanti region to boost the cultural heartbeat of the country. Speaking during a Creative Arts Connect event with stakeholders in that region, Mahama, who is vying to return to the presidency, emphasized that the new theatre would serve as a hub for the arts.
National Film Theatre, since China for boy you see Rawlings Abreso, everything there is not been rehabilitated. Into Kwane from any other baby I say exhibition and I be sometimes curtains you can't draw the curtains, stage I say and no baby I say room. And Temrena so say he says who ye send a bit to me about the creative industry. Now, we share a manifesto 2020. The true Muse, you see a second national theatre at Kumasi. Now, your 2024 manifesto, you are saying repeat you Muse, Yamiya Aduman say Yaba, you see a second national theatre in Kumasi. If you say Kumasi, you are the center of the arts and culture in this country. And so no see there.
Meanwhile, the flag bearer of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has once again drawn a bold line between the achievements of the New Patriotic Party and the track record of the opposition National Democratic Congress. Speaking during a community connect at Ikorofrom, Dr. Bawumia emphasized that despite the global economic shocks such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war, his government has outperformed the NDC, reasons for which John Dramani Mahama is avoiding having a debate with him.
Waba MPP Yaba, notwithstanding say yanya COVID, the global economic crisis in Aba, every sector of the economy we have performed better than him. We have created more jobs. We have built more roads, more railway, more airport, more schools, more hospitals, more public libraries, more sanitation facilities, more cocoa jobs, more agriculture, more industry, more factories, more zongo development. Every sector of the economy, we have done more than you. Choboy, and intina mibisano, say omampinyi dada, chirayen adia baku pea, udia bagana, Emma Ghana, yadi faswa brain, baku peo, ontimi, I'll see one why adia chi, and say, Uji win dear, brananya debate, 1-on-1, then cherebo, I'll see on back. Because Ombra, we're Johnny to say, I could go kitty. We're Johnny to say, I could go kitty. We're Johnny on Babio. Osuro.
In other political news now, on the 4th anniversary of his passing, Ghana remembers John Rawlings, a man who was as complex as he was charismatic. Born on June 22, 1947, to a Scottish father and Ghanaian mother, Rawlings emerged as a transformative figure who reshaped Ghana's political landscape and remains a compelling icon to this day. From his fiery revolutionary spirit to his surprising moments of humility, Rawlings' story is anything but ordinary.
Imagine 1979. A young Ghanaian Air Force pilot attempts a coup against a government steeped in corruption. His name, John Rawlings. At the time, he was a man willing to risk it all, even his life.
Songs in praise of me, please. Sing it in praise of Ghana and Africa, the black man.
Facing a death sentence after a failed coup attempt, Rawlings is freed by loyal soldiers, returning to power in dramatic fashion.
Do you have corn? I'm talking about planters, not diggers. Let me see you by the hand. Up. Good. Now, those of you who have the corn sacks, go and supply. But you've got corn in your left hand. Jesus Christ.
In power, Rawlings wasn't one to tiptoe around difficult issues. His house cleaning campaign, which aimed to root out corruption, left him celebrated by many, but also feared, as his methods included the execution of military officials from the previous government.
I'm saying that we can vote people in and out, personalities, okay? But my dear, what we need to do in this country is to establish a situation where even if it was the devil who should come and sit on top of us in Ghana, by virtue of certain procedures, certain practices, the devil cannot get away with doing whatever he wants. He would necessarily have to do what the people expect of him.
Despite his military beginnings, Rawlings grew into a leader with an undeniable populist touch. From village visits to public forums, he connected directly with people, gaining the affectionate title, Junior Jesus. In 1992, Rawlings made a pivotal shift, transforming Ghana from military rule to a multi-party democracy, even stepping down after a term limit, an uncommon gesture among African leaders with similar backgrounds. His historic handover of power in 2001 to his rival, John Rawlings, showcased his commitment to democratic principles and stabilized Ghana's governance.
I'd like to welcome you to this castle and the problems that comes with this castle.
Rawlings' influence remains woven into Ghana's fabric. His life was a blend of contradictions: military ruler and democratic reformer, fiery revolutionary and man of the people. He once famously leaped out of his car to direct traffic, earning cheers from the crowd.
Move back.
Throughout his life, Rawlings maintained a reputation as an ardent nationalist and Pan-Africanist. He frequently engaged with other African leaders on topics of sovereignty, independence, and unity. Rawlings continued to influence public discourse in Ghana and across Africa, remaining outspoken on issues of governance and justice until his passing on November 12, 2020, aged 73.
Africa finds herself in a catch-22 situation, you see. She better watch what she says here and there, or else you don't get that aid or that assistance, etc., etc. What kind of blackmail is this? But this is another fact of the things you people don't know and don't see.
Today, Rawlings' legacy remains a powerful reminder of the ways grit, vision, and an unyielding commitment to justice can shape a nation. Whether loved or critiqued, Rawlings is remembered as the people's champion, a leader who changed Ghana and Africa forever. Emmanuel Ejaben, GHOne and Star News.
Certainly continues to be a key figure in Ghana's history and democracy. You're watching news tonight here on GH1 TV. We've got more news coming up shortly. Do stay. You're welcome back to News Tonight. Let's take some health-related stories this evening. A team of senior consultants and specialist nurses from Leicester University Hospital have arrived in Ghana for the 2024 Ghana Endoscopy Project. From November 11 to 14, they're conducting training sessions at the Accra Medical Center, making it the first private facility to host this annual initiative. Additionally, Swedish neurosurgeons have partnered with the center to perform complex brain and spine surgeries at subsidized rates, expanding access to specialized medical care for many.
An 8-member team from the University Hospitals of Leicester is set to conduct a 4-day intensive training on therapeutic endoscopy skills for the medical team at Accra Medical Center. This training will focus on enhancing clinical practice with open discussions on advanced techniques for endoscopic and minimally invasive management of colorectal disorders. Speaking to GHOne television, Dr. Richard Robinson, a consultant gastroenterologist from Leicester Hospital, expressed his excitement about sharing his expertise. He aims to upscale the standard of endoscopy in Ghana through this collaboration.
So this is our 5th, I think, visit to Ghana. We've been here in Accra previously last year, but we're here now doing a theoretical course with then some practical skills teaching later in the week. So we've got a team of 8 of us, 4 consultants, 2 surgeons, 2 medical gastroenterologists, and some nurses and some clinical endoscopists. And the plan is to upskill the local surgeons and residents in order to get them up to doing more complex therapeutic work.
Moses Clocker, Chief Operating Officer of Accra Medical Center, highlighted the importance of this partnership between the specialist consultants and the hospital.
So we're giving them a platform to come down and be able to share their skills and knowledge. And 2, we're also hoping to enhance the skill set of our staff. So when we bring these specialist workers in country, they're able to work with our team, and then they're able to pack knowledge and skills set to the team. And they also help them to form network for future collaboration. So this also helps them to be able to reach out as and when they need to discuss certain cases. And lastly, it also helps the Ghanaian patients to get good quality care.
Dr. Teddy Totime, a local neurosurgeon, also shared his experience working with the visiting Swedish neurosurgeons, emphasizing the value of the collaboration.
They've been providing specialists help for our surgeries, basically teaching new ways to do things, even as we work together to operate on different Ghanaian patients at highly subsidized prices. They've also brought in some donated equipment and donated consumables, and it's been all in all a very helpful time.
2-year-old Abba Donya is in a fight for her life against leukemia. Her family urgently needs to raise $150,000 for a life-saving bone marrow transplant. While Ghana's health insurance covers diagnostics and some support for childhood cancers, it falls short of major procedures like Abba's. GHOne News' Awisi Dede Jange reports on the struggles faced by families caught in this policy gap.
This is Abba before her diagnosis. Her smile, that energy. She's the kind of little girl who lights up the room, dancing to any music she hears, spreading joy without even trying.
Leg to the left side, one leg to the right side.
That simple happiness. Her days are spent in hospital rooms, facing blood transfusions and rounds of chemotherapy.
I'm looking at this bubbling child, losing this child to cancer. As a mother, I don't think it's the best way.
It started with fevers and fatigue. Nothing too unusual first. But her parents could tell something was wrong. After a series of tests, they got the news no parent wants to hear. Abba has acute lymphoblastic leukemia, a fast-growing cancer affecting her blood and bone marrow.
Around June, every 2 weeks we go to the hospital because she was having persistent fever, and then at a point I noticed that she wasn't able to walk in the night. Before it starts, she will cry the whole night. I noticed that there was something wrong with my child. I sent her straight to the hospital, and then a children's hospital. Then the pediatrician herself examined her, and she told me she's afraid to tell me that she suspects that my child has leukemia.
According to the World Health Organization, around 1,200 children are diagnosed with cancer in Ghana each year. Childhood cancers are often more treatable than those in adults, with an 80% survival rate if diagnosed early. Yet, in Ghana, only about 20% of affected children survive, largely due to delays in seeking treatment. Dr. Samira Yamiolia is a pediatric oncologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra.
It is really difficult to say they are preventive measures. The best is early detection, so that when parents find any of these signs, it's best for them to present to hospital for the appropriate investigations to be done, so that diagnosis can be made early, and then treatment can be initiated quickly. Most of our patients present very late.
Or kindly contact GHOne TV if in the position to support. The full reports will be aired in subsequent bulletins. You're watching News Tonight. We've got business news next. This evening, the Youth Employment Agency has partnered with the Fisheries Commission and the 66th Artillery Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces in Ho to empower 1,000 youth across the country through a 6-month aquaculture training program. This initiative aims to equip beneficiaries with the necessary skills to become self-reliant and create additional job opportunities. Calvin Powell reports.
During the signing of a memorandum of understanding, the Chief Executive Officer of the YEA revealed that over 130,000 youth have benefited from various training programs, demonstrating the agency's commitment to reducing youth unemployment.
Several skills training that have seen many young men set up their own trades and vocations. These are tangible jobs given to unemployed people or providing people with their daily breads. Today, we present another opportunity for our young men and women in an industry that is booming. In every corner of this country, in our cities these days, you'll find the tilapia joints, you'll find the catfish joints.
Dr. Lawrence Ama-Ahia, Director of Inland Fisheries and Aquaculture at the Fisheries Commission, assured that his outfit is well prepared to provide technical expertise during the training, ensuring beneficiaries acquire the necessary skills to become self-sufficient.
We came into collaboration with YEA to make sure this program is implemented, because our vision as a commission is also to do a similar thing. Now we are running a project which we call aquaculture for food and jobs, where the main objective is, one, to increase fish production, to create decent jobs for the youth and the women.
That's all the business news for tonight. Next, we've got sports news, and Monica Bukhari is in studio with the very latest.
Natalie, good evening. Well, in sports, a former member of the Ghana Football Association, Sani Dara, has called on the EXCO members to rise up and support the president of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kweku. I'll bring you details of this shortly after this breather. Do stay tuned. Staff Media Officer Ibrahim Sani Dara has emphasized that players must earn their call-ups to the Black Stars based on merit and commitment to ensure high standards. Speaking exclusively on the game here on GHOne TV, from his base, the former Ghana FA Communications Director explained that this approach will ensure players give their best whenever they are selected to present the national team, as they will play with pride and dedication.
a lot of players feel too comfortable in the team. Okay. A lot of young players that have come into the team have not struggled very much to get into the team. Feel that it's easy to get into the national team. Okay. And I think that this point must be made clear. Okay. I think that we should widen the scope not only into the top leagues of the world, but also give those that are on the periphery of the top leagues of Europe. Okay. One example that comes straight off the top of my head is Bernard Tekbete. For how long will this young lad keep on performing well in the Bulgarian league? Yeah. Okay. But maybe just because he's playing in Bulgaria, we are not giving preference to him. Okay. We are giving preference more to players that play in the EPL, the Bundesliga, Italy, Spain, and Germany. Okay. I think that we should rejig the strategy and give more opportunities to some players that are in the. If we give the opportunity, the thing that it will bring in the team is competition. Okay. Otherwise, those that are there now will feel that they are the only.
Now, speaking on the role of the Executive Council Exco of the Ghana Football Association, Ibrahim Sani Dara highlighted the need for the current members to rise up to the occasion and be proactive in supporting the president of the GFA, Keto Kweku, in ensuring the smooth administration of football in Ghana. The former official pointed out that while the EXCO has always played a pivotal role in shaping the direction of the association, their presence and impact have not been as strongly felt in recent years. He stressed that in comparison to the past, the visibility and influence of EXCO members has diminished, which has affected the overall direction and public perception of the GFA.
I also expect more, not only for KET alone, but I also want more. I'm also demanding more from his executives. Okay. Let me make this point, and you realize that before, number 12, every part of the football body was a united front. You wake up in the morning, you could hear George Efrie, Palmer, Edidoku played a role in ensuring stories of the FA ahead, and if there were any criticism that would be made of the FA, it was done internally. Are you not worried that in this regime, the ESCO members hardly ever speak when they are?
And that'll be it for sports. My name is Monica Bukari. Back to you, Natalie.
Thank you so much, Monica, for joining with the sports news. And that is how we wrap up News Tonight this evening. Thank you so much for making the time. Lots more news available on starfm.com.gh. It was produced by Musa Lanza. I'm Natalie Fort. From the entire crew, have a lovely evening.